Hey everybody, welcome to SwJ. Today we're picking up where we left off last time, working on my blanket project. Last time we sewed a piece of denim here to here. Today we're already pinned, ready to go, carry on, finish this out. So let's get into it. Using my cushion needle, couch needle, whatever you want to call it. Very large, easy to hold. Some thick red thread. And a blanket stitch. Oops. Missed it. Once I get my first stitch in here, we can get on to the good world news. Alright, it has begun. So good world news today. We're going back to clean energy. And they've come up with a system. And I know I've said this before about other projects, and it's always true. I had this idea years ago. And what the idea is solar powered shingles for on your house. So a lot of people will buy solar installations and put them in their backyard, and it takes up most of their yard, and it's ugly, and there's this big rack, and etc, etc, etc. Now what they're doing is they have systems that go on over top of your existing roof shingles, and they look similar to shingles, and they produce energy. Sarah with my coffee. Yo. Thank you. Cheers. So for those who don't know, that was my wife Sarah. Every morning she brings me a decaf coffee and half a cookie. So these shingles, you know, the concerns that I had for this system were durability, number one. You know, how are solar panels going to handle weathering as compared to shingles. Efficiency, you know, because they're not at an optimal angle to the sun, so you won't be getting as much as you would be otherwise. I think the aesthetics and the just the ease, like the fact that it's not taking up more room, kind of compensates for it not being quite as powerfully productive. The other thing I wasn't sure about was cleaning, because if you need to clean these solar panels and to maintain efficiency, you do need to clean them. You'll need to be up there. Anyways, I'm immediately focusing on my previous thoughts of what would go wrong with this system, and I shouldn't do that. So, my next statement cancels out pretty much all of my concerns. Well, most of my concerns. And that is that they are fireproof, which is necessary if you're doing a roof installation. You can't have something on your roof that's going to burn. They are waterproof, which is always an issue with electronics. So they have waterproofed the system, hopefully appropriately. And this is put out by one of the largest roof companies, roofing companies in the world, or in America, I think it was. They do something like 5 million roofs or something. What was it, annually? I don't know. It's a lot. And I think that's going to be a huge next step in power production, because the power utilities aren't, well, they might be able to keep up, but I don't know. Cheers. Very much looking forward to the day when electricity is cheaper, or free, which is what it was intended to be in the beginning. It's supposed to be a way to improve life, not a way to make money off of people. Imagine that, free power. You know, just have the utility companies owned by strictly by the government, supplying free power. If you're using power, you get it, you know. That'd be pretty amazing. Anyways, you can do it yourself now with solar shingles, which are actually tough enough to be walked on. That was another concern that I had for the shingle system, or for the solar generating shingle system, was durability, as far as actual physical durability. And apparently these are tough enough that you can walk on them and do your usual stuff that you would have to do on the roof, cleaning your eaves troughs out and all that sort of thing. One big thing that I figured would hold these or this type of installation back would be cost, and apparently they've gotten the price point down to where it costs about the same as a rack mount installation that you would put in your backyard. So instead of having your backyard taken up by solar panels, you use your roof, which is already being used up by nothing. Unless you have a rooftop garden, then, you know, that's a different story. But you can use solar panels and grow things in the same area, apparently. Just need to leave a little bit of space between. So a living roof with solar panels would be interesting. And the system has won awards. You know, it's acclaimed. It's not just Mickey Mouse. It's not in the developing stages. This is full-on production. I didn't look into what they do for battery installation and conversion and hooking into your existing panel and all that stuff. It didn't say anything like that about that in the article. So yeah, I don't know. I sorry, I tend to focus on um, innovations in power production and medical breakthroughs and animal conservation stuff. If you have any interest in me covering other topics, other positive world news topics, throw them out at me. Like if you're more into like puff pieces, just happy people news, that sort of thing. I do have one of those stories coming up in a little bit. Really, actually, a sweet story. So yeah, let me know what you're more interested in. Are you more interested in the stuff that's shaping the entire world, or are you more interested in the stuff that is shaping one person's world? I've been trying to focus on the entire world, but every once in a while there's a story like one coming up in a bit that, tugs the old heartstrings just the right way. Cheers. So, positive world news. Animal Kingdom again this time. In the year 2021, to instantly date this video, in the year 2021, they discovered 70 new species of plant and animal in the world. 70, as announced through this one institute in California. So not only are they making strides with conservation, like we talk about often, they're still discovering new species. I wonder, that's an interesting thought. I wonder if a new species immediately goes on the endangered list because, hey, we found 5 of these. No one else knows they exist. Uh-oh. You know? Sorry. Just completely sidetracked my point here. But yeah, 70 new species discovered across 5 continents and in 3 oceans. Some of the interesting ones, some of the kind of the fun ones. There's one called a pink pygmy pipe horse, which is fun to say. Pink pygmy pipe horse. And what it is, it's basically a tiny, tiny, tiny seahorse that is pink and kind of crusty. And yeah, just tiny, tiny, tiny. Super cute. Pink pygmy pipe horse. Never heard of a pipe horse before. And there's one called a blue spotted guitarfish. A blue spotted guitarfish. And it looks really cool. It looks like a cross between a manta ray and a shark. Like the front is all flared out like a ray, and then the back is the shark tail. And it's like black and blue spots. It's really looks really neat. And then there is the fire sea star. So it's a traditional five-pointed star, but it is a brilliant orange color, super bright orange, and looks really cool. And the thing that they learned about these ones already is that they help to protect the coral reefs. So they're a very good discovery. And yeah, so 70 new species of plants and animals, and all sorts of stuff. I think there's a few different types of scorpion mixed in there, and all sorts of things. All sorts of fun little new creatures. The next idea is for Pokemon. Cheers. So, getting on to the feel-good piece. The story coming out of the United States. It's a young person in their teens, I believe. Younger adult, anyways. No, maybe not adult. I don't know. Not sure how old he was. But this person would come into a guitar store fairly often and ask to play the Pantera guitar. And this is referring to the guitar that the late Dimebag Darrell of Pantera would play. The big one, I think it was blue with the neon lightning bolts or something like that. Really amazing looking guitar, just super cool. And he would come in and ask to play this guitar. And this person has a developmental disorder called Williams syndrome. And to give you an idea, it's the syndrome characterized by kind of elvish features and varied degrees of learning difficulty. So this very unique young person would come in and play this guitar occasionally. And one time when he was in the shop playing the guitar, a customer took note, and after he left, went and inquired with the staff as to what the story was, and they told him. And this customer purchased the guitar for the young man. The interesting little twist to the story, and sweet, beautiful, awesome, great. The problem is, kid moved away. That was the last time he was going to be in that shop before he moved. Cheers. And the people in the shop, they don't have any idea how to contact the kid. They don't know that the kid's moving, or has moved, or is moving shortly after the last visit there. They had no idea. So the guitar sat there, paid for, waiting for 8 months before he came back in. They were visiting or something, and came back in to play the guitar, and they were able to give it to him. And yeah, just I saw a couple pictures and just the biggest smiles, that feeling. It must have been especially good after being gone for 8 months and not able to come in and play it, to be able to go back to that store. And for a lot of special needs people, they need to feel comfortable in a place. So if that person felt comfortable in that place, comfortable enough to come in and play that guitar, and ask to play that guitar all the time, that makes it a special moment, because he would have been like waiting 8 months to come back and jam on his guitar. And then he walks in the door, and not only does he get to play it, he gets to keep it and bring it home and play it every day. And it's one of those dream come true moments, because it is an amazing guitar. And I was surprised by the price tag. It was only $800. I thought it would be significantly more, because it's a very, how can I describe that guitar? It's over the top. It's like Vegas. It's just larger than life. The other neat thing about this story is that I mentioned that Dimebag Darrell was the late Dimebag Darrell, and he passed away a number of years ago. But the remaining surviving members of Pantera heard about this story, and they are getting together to send him a care package with Pantera related bits and bobs. And no details on what's in that package, but I guess they don't want everyone to know before he knows, Just going to bounce over here and tighten up this corner. There's one spot here that needs a little touch up. It's these the corner details that get me sometimes. that's okay, because it's a few stitches and you're back in the game. Just a few stitches and you're back in the game. Alright. Working on my Matthew McConaughey. It's a work in progress. Alright, time to pull some pins. And we can take a look at what we've done today. Oop, as I knock over my thread. Boy, thread. So today, solar panel shingles. It only makes sense, you know, especially with the way energy costs are going. The big thing is the cost input versus money savings, and that all depends on how much your local utilities charge for power. Right now here, I think we're at something like 7 or 8 cents per kilowatt hour, which is very reasonable compared to many other places out there. And we're hydroelectric supplied here, so quite clean, you know, after the initial install and flooding and taking over lands and destroying of habitat, all that sort of thing. It's fairly clean. Cheers. What is clean power? I don't think there is. You're always doing something to change the world when you produce power. But I don't want to get into the negative sides of the positive ways the worlds are going. The way I look at it, it's going to be better than it was. It's, I think, all we can hope for is that we go forward. I think all we can hope for is that we go forward rather than going backwards. And if we're doing that, then we're okay. And, you know, even if we do stumble sometimes, 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still forward progress. Or the saying that my wife really likes is falling on your face is still moving ahead. That's a good way to look at it. So yeah, today, let's see how it turned out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, toit. Toit, toit, toit. Toit like a tiger. Awesome. Alright, then next time we'll finish this tie-in. Man, this is turning into a blanket. That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate the time we get to spend together. And yeah, till next time, Keep chilling. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.